Do you say, I am agree, I have 35 years, and let's make a meeting? If even one of those sound normal to you, this video is for you. These are some of the most common mistakes learners make in English, especially in professional situations. In this video, we are going to show you 10 very common mistakes and how to correct them so you can sound more natural and more professional in English. And welcome to the World Language School. So let's start with the first one because it's a big one. I am agree. But in English, we simply say, I agree. Why? Well, because agree is a verb and not an adjective. In many languages, the equivalent uses to be. So the instinct is to say, I am agree. And it makes sense, but in English, it is wrong. So we don't say, I am agree, we say, I agree. For example, I agree with you, or I completely agree. Now, let's move on to a mistake that might sound completely normal in your language, but not at all in English. And that is, I have 35 years. In Spanish, in French, in Italian, and in many other languages, you have an age. In English, you are an age. So you can't say, I have 35 years. You have to say, I am 35 years old. Or more naturally, I am 35. For example, I am 35 and I work in marketing. Or she is 42 years old. We can use have when we talk about experience. For example, he has 35 years of experience in finance. Now, let's move on to mistake number 3. Let's make a meeting. You can make coffee, you can make a cake, but you can't make a meeting. This is a collocation error. Make doesn't work with meeting in English. Instead, we normally say, let's have a meeting, or let's arrange a meeting, or let's set up a meeting. This is a really useful sentence in business English because it comes up all the time. So remember, not make a meeting, but have a meeting, or arrange a meeting, or set up a meeting. Now, let's look at a mistake that pops up in emails and presentations constantly, and that is, I explain you. In English, this is not correct. We don't say, I explain you the problem. We say, I explain the problem to you. Why? Because with explain, we need to before the person. In other words, we explain something to someone. So, not I explain you, but I explain it to you. For example, let me explain the situation to you. Or, can you explain this to me? Or, she explained the process to the client. So remember, this is a very important one, especially in meetings, in emails, and presentations. The next one is a false friend. And as all false friends, it is one of the sneakiest mistakes, and it can fool even advanced speakers. My actual job is. Now, in several languages, the word current looks very similar to the English word actual. But in English, actual means real or true, not current. So if you want to talk about the job you have now, you don't say my actual job is project manager. Instead, you should say, I currently work as project manager, or my current role is in sales. So remember, actual sounds like you're correcting a misunderstanding. My actual job, so not what you think, is, so my real job. Another thing is my current job. Now, be honest. How many of these have you said in English? Drop your number in the comments. No judgment. Even advanced speakers make these mistakes. Let's look at another very common one. I suggest you to call the client. Now, suggest does not work like recommend. This trips up even C1 speakers. So after suggest, we don't use someone plus to plus verb. There are two correct structures. I suggest calling the client or the customer, or I suggest that you call the client or the customer. For example, I suggest sending an email first, or I suggest that you speak to the client directly. So not I suggest you to, but I suggest calling, or I suggest that you. The next one is very small, but incredibly common. We are in late. In many languages, the equivalent phrase includes a preposition like in ritardo, en retard. So adding in feels very natural. In English, we drop it completely. We just say, we are late. So for example, sorry, we are late for the meeting. Or the meeting started late. Or I don't want to be late again. It's a small difference, but a very important one. The next one is a small expression mistake that we see all the time in emails and messages. I'll send it to you today morning, or we can speak today afternoon. These expressions are very common, but in English, they don't sound natural. So the quick rule is today plus morning or afternoon or evening. Always use this instead of today. So you would say this morning or this afternoon and also this evening. So for example, I'll send it to you this morning, not I'll send it to you today morning. And now the last two are tense mistakes. And these are probably the ones that you probably hear the most often at work. I work here since 2020. This sounds logical to many learners, but in English, it's not correct. If something started in the past and it is still true now, English uses the present perfect, not the present simple. So instead of I work here since 2020, you should say I have worked here since 2020. Or even more naturally, in spoken English, I have been working here since 2020. Or she has been working in finance since last year. This is a very common mistake in professional introductions, interviews, and workplace conversations. You should get right to make a good first impression. So remember, I have worked here since 2020. I have been working here since 2020, not I work here since 2020. And finally, mistake number 10. I am working here from 5 years. This one combines two mistakes in one sentence. So let's fix both. First, in English, we don't say from 5 years. In this context, we say for 5 years. And second, once again, if something started in the past and it is still true now in the present, in English, we usually use the present perfect. So instead of I am working here from 5 years, we would say I have worked here for 5 years. Or in some cases, I have been working here for 5 years. For example, he has worked in sales for over 10 years. So the two things to remember are not from, but for, which indicates the duration of time, and the present perfect. I have worked or I have been working, not the present continuous I am working. And those are 10 very common mistakes non-native speakers make in English. And now you know how to fix every single one of them. Avoid these and you will immediately sound more natural and more professional. And that is not a small thing. In meetings, presentations, and emails, it really matters. Which ones have you said yourself? Tell us in the comments, and if you want feedback on your own sentence, write it below and we'll take a look. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more practical English tips from us here at the World Language School. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.